check this out. Hold on. Let me show you this. Let me show you. Let me sit down. We are now sitting in a brand new chair from Next Level Racing. This is the new flight sim chair, and if you've seen their previous flight sim chairs, this one might be pretty familiar. But there's a few key, features about this chair that I think is going to make a big difference, especially for some particular people. So let me show you what's new with this new chair. Okay, here it is, the new Next Level Racing Microsoft Flight Simulator branded chair. Now, at first glance, if you have seen the previous chairs, like the Boeing edition chair, the military edition chair, this looks very similar, and I will tell you this right now, it is very similar. The only difference is, I'll point out right now, but the frame, the base frame down here where your rudder pedals will mount to, the base of the actual whole structure has not changed at all. Again, this is the Flight Simulator chair, not the Flight Simulator Pro chair. On the Pro chair, the rudder pedals or rudder pedal mount and the rest of the chair are completely separate. If you want that, then you can check out the Flight Simulator Pro chair, but this is just the Flight Simulator chair, which is personally my preferred chair. In the past, I had the Boeing one. But anyways, this is where you're gonna mount your rudder pedals. You got plenty of holes down here to mount any type of rudder pedals you need, and I'll tell you this, it does work very well. I've mounted my TPRs here, my Wind Wings, my Turtle Beaches, they've all mounted very well on those rudder pedals. Now, another thing I'll kind of give you guys a tip for in my previous experiences with Next Level Racing chairs is that you want to definitely make sure you get the extra wheels. The wheels do not come with the chair, but I recommend you do get the wheels. Makes it much easier to maneuver, move, clean underneath, and things like that. I could not live without some wheels. So we have that. We continued back here. One of the first differences here is the Microsoft Flight Simulator branding on the side panel. Again, a small thing, not a big deal, but you have that. You also have you can see on both the left and the right side on the mount, so you have the light blue color, kind of like arms that are Microsoft Flight Sim branded, that color. So you have that going for it. The Boeing chair has that, like a much deeper blue. There's a red version. There's also the military version. So, kind of a preference thing there. And then, obviously, the other big difference is the actual chair itself. So you can notice here that middle part right there, bit of a larger gap there between the legs for, like the Moza for seatback, which I'll show you guys a little later. That fits much better through there. Different yokes and joysticks can fit much better down on the center mount. Now, as you can see, the chair itself, completely different material, completely different design. You have this really cool dotted leather pattern with the Microsoft blue, like stitched lining there. Very nice design. I really like it. I really do like it. It looks very clean, very nice. You have the Next Level Racing logo up in the top here on the head, but in the back, we swoop around, you'll see we have a Microsoft Flight Sim logo on the back. I could definitely see Microsoft Flight Sim using this when they do their events and stuff like that in person, which would be pretty cool. But you have that going for it. The chair is pretty comfortable. I've already been sitting in it for a couple of weeks, and I really like how it feels versus the old chair. You still have the ability to lean back in the chair. I won't show you that today, but you can lean basically flat. You also have a handle right here that allows you to push forward and backwards, which is nice, but you cannot move the chair up and down. So that's one thing, gripe I've always had about this style of chair for Next Level Racing, is that I would love to have an option to be able to raise the chair up and down for people who are shorter or taller. But all you can do right now is move it forward and back and lean back. Also on the other side, if I can kind of sweep around here, again, I have wheels so I can turn it. We have this new addition right here, which is allow you to kind of change the lumbar support. When you turn this here, it'll actually give you more support here in the lower back, which is nice. A nice, cool addition I think a lot of people will actually enjoy. You have another arm here on this side, of course. Again, Microsoft Flight Sim branding on the bottom. And again, other than that, that's pretty much the biggest differences here. We have this seat back pocket now, which is pretty cool. You can put, I don't know what you put back there, paperwork, whatever, I don't know. You can put that back there, so that's cool, of course. Here they have the center mount, which is where you normally mount your yokes and things like that. It does lean forward, so if you don't want it in the way, you can actually go down to the bottom and unhook it and push it forward or take it off completely. I've found that very useful. I always mount my yoke to that. Obviously, on the left here, we have our mouse pad and keyboard holder. We can use it as a mouse pad or a keyboard holder. Now, I want to make it one thing very clear, and that is, by default, you only get the right side kind of like mount with the mouse pad slot over there on the right. On the left side, I actually took this from my old Boeing chair. I took it, I flipped it around, and I put it on the left side because I wanted a bit more real estate to do a bit more things here on the left side for various products that I mount. So I have a duplicate. So if you buy this chair, you will not get two panels like these. You'll only get one. The other one is basically half of that. So we'll make sure that's clear so you don't get misled to think that you're gonna get put two of those. You could also mount this keyboard here, either on the left or on the right. For my setup, I prefer to try it on the left for now. We'll see how well that works out for me. And back here in the back of the seat, it's really hard to see it, but there's a butt kicker mounted there. It's actually not plugged in right now, but there's a little pole that allows you to mount a butt kicker, and I have it mounted there and it feels great. I love it. Okay, so the chair looks cool and all. I get the seats different. You got some different coloring, some different branding, and that's all cool. But like, I mean, is there anything else that's different about this chair to kind of make it worth the price, or make it worth getting this one versus the other Next Level Racing chairs? Or maybe you already have a Next Level Racing chair, you're like, should I upgrade? So there's a couple of things I do want to show you guys that makes a big difference for me. I'm not sure if it'll be the same for you, but just stay with me here and I'll show you. Okay, let's move to the back, the left rear of the chair. And this is a new piece of metal that's now included with the Next Level Racing Flight Simulator chair. And this is a collective mount. We didn't used to have this on the previous versions of the chair, and I'm hoping that, you know, for those who already own the chair, they can get this, you know, maybe sold separately. They can buy it, you know, outright without having to buy the entire chair. I hope that they allow that. But as you can see, I have this Apache collective here by Virpil. Absolutely love this thing, and I had a trouble getting it to work with Next Level Racing. I have to basically take this entire panel, take it off, flip it upside down, and then mount it and like kind of like just, you know, bootleg it. I've posted a whole video about how to do that. But now that we have this piece, we should not have to do that anymore, because you can see here with the bottom of the collective from Virpil, it has this piece here, right? And now we should be able to go ahead and just place this baby right there, and now we'll have a collective. Right, so that's a big deal for those who like to do helicopter and rotor ops. Again, if you're not into helicopters, you probably won't care about this piece. You don't have to mount this piece, don't have to use it. But for those who do, this is a big deal. All right, this next edition is, no exaggeration, truly a game changer for me personally. And I think it might be a big deal to some of you out there who actually are using a center mounted joystick. Now, for the Next Level Racing chair, you have this center mounted joystick pole right here, which has always been one of my favorite features of this chair. I love the fact that I can mount my joystick right here in the middle for doing things like fighter jets or bush flying or whatever that may be. And so usually you have this baby here, you have a mount just like this here, sitting on top of it. Yep, something like that. And usually I'd have my Thrustmaster Warthog joystick mounted on top of this, or my Virpil or whatever like that. But recently I got the Moza force feedback base, and look how massive this thing is. Like, look at it compared to the chair. It's huge. That's been my biggest complaint. And if I mount this on top of here, it might fall, but if I mount this on top of here, look how high it is. That's unrealistic and uncomfortable to have a joystick sitting that high. And that's, you know, people always ask me, why don't you use the Moza, you know, force feedback joystick more often? Like, that's the reason. It's just, it's sat too high. It was uncomfortable. It was unrealistic to me. So they kind of fixed this, and it's not just specifically for Moza. It's for anybody who wants to have an extended center joystick mouse. So if I take this apart, take this off, I'll move the Moza out of the way, and this little piece is the answer. Right here. This little piece is the answer. And all you got to do, and it's not going to stay, I had to mount it, but you'll basically place this right here. And then you'll mount that flat piece on top. And then you'll take your base, and your base will sit right there in the center, nice and low. And now that is much more comfortable, and that is a big deal to me. That's a game changer for me. Now I can actually enjoy a larger force feedback joystick base like this from Moza, or if you have one of those extended, joysticks that kind of much longer arm on it, you could actually also mount that much lower. I know that's more popular for helicopter people than others, but still, if you wanted your joystick to be lower, you can do that. You could not do that before on the old chair, and so I love that feature. So big deal to me. Okay, I threw some random hardware on here so we can get one last look kind of in context. So we'll start from the front. Again, we have our TPR rudder pedals, which can be mounted very easily to the front, very comfortably. We also have our Thrustmaster TCA yoke there mounted to the center mount, and then right below that, we have the Moza force feedback base, obviously without the actual joystick connected, but that is actually mounted to the additional center mount. There's two center mounts. So there's the center mount for the yoke, which is right here. And then there's the center mount for the center mounted joystick, which is right there where that massive base is. So we'll continue over here. We also have the collective there, which I have mounted to the collective little mount down there. Super easy. Obviously, I would normally have that left panel completely taken off so that we can have full rotation of the collective, but this is just for an example. So we'll continue looking back. We have our keyboard sitting there on the left side. And then on the right, I have my Thrustmaster Airbus throttle, which I have mounted on the right panel. Again, you could put any throttle there. This is just kind of a mismatch of a bunch of hardware. I want to show you guys off here in kind of one go, but there it is, guys. That is the Next Level Racing Microsoft Flight Simulator chair. So final thoughts, do I think this chair is worth it? I think if you don't already own any Next Level Racing Flight Sim chair, then yes, I think it is. But if you own any of the previous chairs, then no, it's not. It's not worth the minor upgrades and minor changes and minor few little extra mounts that you get with it. I hope they sell these extra mounts and the seat itself separately so you can swap them out with your old seat, because it is the same mounting device. Same way the seat mounts to the old chair, it mounts to the new chair. So hopefully they'll sell the seat separately so you can enjoy the chair and the mounts. But that's it for me. Thanks for watching. Remember, you have three choices: give up, give in, give it all you got. Peace, love, and God bless you. I will see you guys next time in the next video.